Today we are here to find out how Darryl upgraded from a 2-bedroom condo to a 4-bedroom. Okay, so Darryl, firstly, congratulations for your purchase for 4-bedroom.
Thank you.
I think you just exercised your purchase
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So basically the story is, of course, you've seen from the title, Darryl actually upgraded from a 2-bedroom condo. What was the size of a 2-bedroom condo?
657 square feet.
From a 657 square feet unit to a
1238.
1238 square feet 4-bedroom condo.
4-bedroom condo, yes.
Okay, so basically, why are we inviting Darryl here is because sometimes people are thinking, hey, first property, I think don't buy too small. We try to start with a 3-bedroom as much as possible. But I think this is a proven journey from Darryl that even though when you start small, you can still achieve what you want, which is a bigger unit at the end. So the 2-bedroom condo is actually located at
Botanic at Bartley.
and then the 4-bedroom is at within the same area.
They are quite near to each other, but in actually different district.
Oh, different districts.
So Botanic at Bartley is in District 19.
Okay.
And then the Venue Residences
Which is the 4-bedroom that you bought.
Yeah, that one is at District 13.
Oh, District 13.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I think the biggest question is why did you buy this 2-bedroom? Why did you bought this 2-bedroom in the first place? Botanic at Bali.
Okay, so just to share the background behind this purchase. So back then, me and my wife, we wanted to buy HDB. So we applied for BTO a total of 6 times.
6 times?
Yeah, but we didn't manage to get it at all. The only closest we ever had, was we gotten the ballot number, but our number was way behind. So for that project...
Do you remember number one?
I remember my number was 1,800 something.
1,800 something? How many...
units is, I think, 600 or 700.
Oh, 600 or 700. I think many of the audience here will have the similar feeling.
Yeah, so in total, we applied 6 times. All didn't get it. So after that, eventually we decided to explore other options. So at first, we went to take a look at ECs, executive condominiums.
Okay.
But then my wife is not keen at all, because usually ECs are located outside the city area. Usually like your Woodlands, Yishun, Sembawang, Canberra,
Sengkang
Punggol,
yep.
Which she's not used to because she used to stay in Bishan.
Okay.
Yeah. So even though I don't mind trying for it, but of course since the wife say don't want, then have to think of other things.
Yeah. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes. Okay. So after that, we went to explore resale HDB.
Okay.
So we want somewhere nearer to the city, like maybe Ang Mo Kio, Bishan, Toa Payoh, Boon Keng, that kind of area. So we went to see. So back then, the HDB cost about 600 over 1,000. Then we factor in, okay, let's say if we have to do renovation, it will cost us maybe another 50 to 100,000.
Okay.
So total also need about 700,000 plus.
Yeah.
Then after that, we thinking, okay it's within our budget. Then after that, I told my wife, why not we go and take a look at new launch condo. So we went to see 2 projects that launched in 2015. So the first one was North Park Residences at Yishun. And then the second one is Botanic.
Which is the one you bought in the end.
Which is the one I bought, because ultimately the other one is at Yishun.
Correct.
So even though North Park Residences is an integrated project, but because location-wise is still at Yishun,
the north side.
So end up we decided to go ahead with Botanic at Bartley. But due to our budget, so if we were to buy a resale HDB, we can actually buy a 5-bedroom unit.
5-bedroom as a 5-room flat. 5-room flat.
A 5-room flat, but slightly older
Okay.
And have to spend money on renovation, about 700 plus. So for this Botanic at Bartley, we can only purchase a 2-bedder, and it's
how much was it back then?
2-bed 1 bath, not 2-bed 2 bath.
2-bed 1 bath. How much was it?
830.
830.
Yeah, 830,000.
Wow, I think now you cannot find already.
Definitely.
Now the 2-bed 1 bath is like
easily 1.2
more than
to
that
1.3. Yeah. So I'm glad that back then we make this decision to go ahead with purchasing the project.
But the thing is, I think you mentioned to me when you really collected keys, move into it, then you start to have kids. So how many kids do you have right now?
Currently, I have one son, and then my wife is expecting, so I have one more on the way.
incoming lah.
Yeah.
So back then, okay, you have one your son and then your dog ma. Also
Yeah,
dog,
I
right?
have a dog also.
So total 4 packs.
Yes. So initially, I bought in 2015. I collected keys in 2019. So when we moved in, that time was just me, my wife, and the dog.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
The size just nice.
Yeah.
So 2 bed 1 bath ma. So we only got 1 toilet. So easier for me also, because I'm
Yeah.
the one in charge of cleaning the toilets.
So you only need to clean one toilet.
Yeah. So we enjoyed the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good size for just 2 of us plus 1 dog lah.
Correct.
Then eventually I had a son. So space wise, still manageable. We still are comfortable, cozy living in it lah, because got 2 bedroom ah.
Then what made you want to make the shift in the end to a 4 bedroom?
Yeah. So actually back then in 2022, I already had the intention to sell my unit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was actually observing lah, cause like for the last 3 years, the property price actually went up quite a bit since the first quarter of 2020.
Yeah.
So I have also been observing. So if I were to sell last year, I would still be making a decent profit. But I went to see the trend, then I realized that it's still on a very uptrend. So I tell my wife, we just wait hold and then see whether it will still continue, which I know is still going up.
Okay.
Yeah. So we waited until this year, then we decided to plan our exit.
But I think the motivation factor I think you mentioned to me was also because you spot a good deal lah, which is the 4 bedroom that you currently bought ma.
Yes.
Because I think we had a very long discussion on should I buy another new, because you already experienced you enjoyed the capital appreciation of a new property from your 2 bedroom.
Yes.
Your 2 bedroom, how much did you make? Profit lah. You just talk about purchase price versus selling price.
About 400k.
400,000 for a 2 bedroom.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, of course, if we will do it again.
Correct.
Have another
correct.
400,000.
Correct.
But then because you spotted these 4 bedroom avenue residences, and I think we can share with the audience here lah. What made you actually bought this 4 bedroom, and why do you think that it's a good deal?
So last year we already thought of selling, but of course we haven't go and see where we want to buy. But we know that we will still want to be within around the same area, or not far off from where we are currently. But because last year, I mean, if I were to sell last year, I will be making about 250,000 profits instead.
Okay.
So with just a difference of 1 year plus, I actually make 150 more.
Correct.
So this year, then I really start to look out for properties. We were actually considering 3 bedroom units only. I never thought of buying a 4 bedroom unit, because based on what I counted based on our budget, after selling this unit, my budget worked out to about 1.9 million. So I'm actually looking for 3 bedroom units around this range, which is actually the range means the properties around where I'm staying is selling around this range.
1.9 lah for 3 bedroom.
For 3 bedroom. Then so happened that I chanced upon this unit I saw on Property Guru. It was a 4 bedroom unit at Potong Pasir,
Yeah.
which is one of the area that we are also considering, but listed at 2.2 million.
Which is about 300,000 above your initial budget.
Yes. So I showed my wife, and then she saw it. Okay, so before that, I showed her a few properties also like 3 bedroom unit about 1.9. Then she see already, then she like, not very interested, not very keen. So we didn't really go and view the units, cause even the first round already never passed ma.
Yeah.
So
which is a wife lah. The first round, which is the wife lah.
So no point go view since she
Correct.
already. Then I show her this one. Then she see already, she say, we can go have a look.
Because I think you mentioned the layout. There's a virtual tour, is it, of the unit?
Yeah, there was a video, then we saw the layout.
Yeah.
I
And
mean
the
the floor
condition
plan
of the house also.
Yeah, and from the photos, the condition looked very good.
Yeah.
And so I show it to her lah. Then she say, yeah, we can go have a look. But then I tell her, this one 2.2 million. But
You need to dig 300,000 out from your bank.
but we go and have a look first lah.
Yeah.
So I arranged to have a look for this unit.
Yeah.
Then at the same time, since I'm going down to this project, I will see what else is available at that project. So I went to find, and then I saw another 3-bedroom unit that is also listed,
Okay.
selling at 2.1 million.
So a 4-bedroom at 2.2 and a 3-bedroom at 2.1.
Yes. I mean fair lah, because 4-bedroom bigger ma.
Correct.
The 3-bedroom size also quite decent. It's
Yep.
about 1,100 plus. So okay, so anyway, I arranged to have a look lah. So we went to take a look at the 3 and the 4-bedroom unit. So the 3-bedroom unit, normal. We went to see
lah.
layout okay. Everything was okay lah.
Correct.
Then we went to see the 4-bedroom unit also.
Yep.
So the 4-bedroom unit, it was in a way better condition than the 3-bedroom
3-bedroom.
unit. So in terms of renovation, we won't have to do much lah. So that was one of the factor. Secondly is we like the layout more than the 3-bedroom unit.
Because with an additional room, you can actually, it caters more to future
Yes,
plans lah.
yeah. So
like let's say when your son grow up, needs his own room, and then for your second kid coming along, maybe you can stay longer because there's an additional room as well.
correct. So I mean, a price difference of 100,000, but I have an additional room. So that is more appealing to us in that sense.
Correct. But I think what we really want to know, end up, how much did you bought this 4-bedroom for?
2.2 million, definitely out of my budget, our budget. So I went back and do a calculation again to see at what price am I be able to afford, or what is the price if I can manage to buy this 4-bedroom that is a good buy.
Yeah.
So I counted, then I say, if let's say I'm able to get it at 2.1 million or below, then it's a very good buy.
Because of per square feet, and
In
also
terms
because
of-
it's a lower price than a 3-bedroom as well.
Correct, because the 3-bedroom that we went to view is starting from.
Ah.
So it's starting from 2.1 million.
Correct.
Whereas the 2.2, the 4-bedroom is 2.2 million negotiable. So I calculated lah. So if let's say I manage to buy below 2.1, it is a good buy. So the next thing is only whether I can afford to push my budget to 2.1 million. Yeah. So the good thing is because we are taking loan, so even though the difference of from 1.9 million to 2.1 is actually 200k, but because of bank loan, you don't need that 200k more.
So how much difference was it for this 200k?
It was about 100k difference. Yeah. Because I took a lower bank loan lah. I need to come up with another 100k for this unit, which
Yeah.
I think is
Still okay.
still okay
Still
if I
manageable.
can buy below 2.1.
Correct.
If let's say above 2.1, then yeah, it's not such a good buy anymore lah.
So I'm sure being an agent yourself, powerful negotiators ma. So
In a
definitely
way lah.
Yeah.
So you want to know how much I
Yeah.
bought?
How much you bought?
You make a guess.
Everybody wants to know lah.
You make a guess
Actually,
lah.
even for myself, I don't recall you telling me also. 2.05?
Slightly higher.
Slightly at 2. You consider a good buy. How much? 2.08 lah.
Yeah, 2.08.
2.08. Which means you got a 4-bedroom cheaper than a 3-bedroom.
Yes.
I think you also mentioned to me after that, I think there's the 3-bedroom.
Yeah, so
also,
ultimately, right, this 3-bedroom that we went to see,
Yeah.
it was sold at 2.13 million.
2.13. That means you are,
Paying 50k lesser than a 3-bedroom unit.
and you have an extra bedroom.
Yes.
So good buy.
Definitely a good
No
buy.
regrets.
Zero regrets. That's why we went for it lah.
Yeah. So, but then of course, selling the house will be also something important lah. I think timeline wise, I understand you did something a bit more unique. So you wanted to make sure that you can secure a place first before you sell your house ma.
Yes.
So I think this one we can share with the audience. How can we actually play around with the timeline so that we can secure our buying first while selling our place? Because the last thing we want is, as some families are more particular in terms of the house they buy, not so chin cai one. So some people will say, I don't want to sell first until I finally get the house I want. So I think that's exactly what you did lah.
Yes. So for us, right, because we have a kid, we have a dog.
Yeah.
So it's harder for us to sell first than buy.
Yeah.
Because let's say if we were to sell first and then our next unit or our next property haven't complete yet, we won't have a place to stay.
Correct.
Yeah. And we don't have the options of moving back in with our parents. So for my case, I needed to buy first before I sell my unit. So what I did was, instead of the usual 2 weeks to exercise the unit. I asked for 6 months.
So basically, you place a higher option fee for the buying.
Yes.
You request for 6 months option period.
Yes, so
to
that I
sell your
have
place.
6 months to sell my place
Yeah.
at a good price lah.
Yep.
Cause if I ask shorter or let's say 2 weeks, then I'm forced to sell
your
my unit at a lower price.
Correct.
Yeah.
But thankfully you managed to sell in time lah.
Yes, yeah. I sold
Correct.
within 2 months.
Within
Yeah.
2 months. But this is very interesting because being a real estate agent, we always want to sell at the best price possible ma.
Correct.
So if you head into our GetListed Instagram, you actually see one of the houses sold by Darryl was Botanic at Bartley lah.
Yeah. My own
So
house.
that's his own house. So basically
Yeah.
the very renovated house, the home tour that you see on our YouTube is his own place.
Yes.
So actually, I also realized that your house is a designer home, which means it's featured in the magazine before.
I think that is one of the reason why we were able to fetch such a high price for my unit lah.
So how much did you spend on renovation? Your
All in, we spent about 50,000.
50,000. So do you advise that anybody wish to sell their property in future to spend in renovation?
Okay, this is very subjective actually. I mean, if you purchase a brand new condominium, right? By right, you wouldn't need to spend much on renovation.
Correct.
Because when you buy a brand new unit, everything comes fully done up.
Correct.
You just need to install lightings, curtain, furnitures, you can move in already.
Yeah.
But for us, because we wanted to have a more, how will you put it? Okay, because we bought a 2-bedroom unit.
Yeah.
So it's not very big, 657 square feet. But back then, we like to host friends, family. So we had an enclosed kitchen, which we hacked away.
So you make it like a open concept.
Yes, so that we have a bigger space lah. Because with the enclosed kitchen, it actually eats in a lot of the dining.
I think the walking
space.
area, that means
Yes.
the walking space lah.
So that is one of, like, most of our renovation goes to that area lah.
Yeah.
Because we had to hack away and we built a new kitchen.
Correct. So does it help in your selling?
Ultimately, it does, because for the price that we sold at, is actually one of the highest transacted.
And yours is a
And mine is on a mid-floor unit.
mid-floor unit. It's
Yeah.
not the high floor one.
It's not a high floor one. So to give you a comparison, right? So when I was selling my unit, of course I have to look back on the transactions to see how much my neighbors were selling.
Correct.
So I went to see, there's this unit at 4th floor. Same stack as mine.
Okay.
So mine is like
Same
maybe
stack meaning
exactly the same
unit, just
same
different
unit.
level
Yeah, there's
lah.
different level. So I'm like about 4 to 5 stories higher than him.
Yeah.
So I saw, wow, the price he sell, right? Wow, very low. He sold like maybe just this year,
Yeah.
6 months ago. He sold at 1.06 million.
1.06.
Yeah, in May.
Okay.
So exactly same stack, I'm just like 4 5 stories higher. So I'm thinking, wow, this might not be good for me, because usually when we sell a unit, the buyers will
Compare
what was the past transaction. But then because my unit was more renovated, and then to add on, thankfully there were some units higher level floor that transacted recently also.
Yeah.
So instead of using the 4th floor transactions for my unit, I used the higher transacted units to support my asking
Selling
price.
price,
Yeah. So in a way, I would say the renovation helps as well lah, because my buyer that bought because they like the renovation.
Yeah. So sometimes when we are saying that if you want to sell a property, don't renovate too much. But it really depends. If the
Yeah, that's why
renovation
it's
is
subjective.
worthy,
Yeah.
and the timing is right, your renovation might help you sell your unit faster. But the thing is, I will still go back to the first question. Do you regret buying the 2-bedroom? Did any point of time when staying in that 2-bedroom, did you regret about it or not?
Okay, to be honest, after selling at this price, I would say no regrets.
Correct.
No regrets.
Of course, after you make 400,000, who will regret, right?
But I mean, okay, so the only thing was, after staying there for a couple of years, we feel that the space is really too small lah.
Correct.
Especially after we had our first kid. So that was the time where we also started exploring. But if I were to sold it back then, I would have earned lesser lah.
But I think because I remember in between you did mention, you want to hire a maid also cannot.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a room to house your helper, ma.
Correct.
So that's a motivation for you to shift to a 4-bedroom.
So my motivation to shift is because I have another kid that is coming, and we will also want to have a helper. So definitely we have to sell to move to a bigger space.
But without this 2-bedroom, you will not be able to upgrade to this 4-bedroom. Am I right to say that? Because of the 400,000.
Yeah, actually that 400,000 is very significant.
Super important,
Yeah.
right? So I think this is what we mentioned as a first property. Everybody wants to own 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom at the end of the day. But I think we always start somewhere. Even if it's a 1-bedroom,
It's still a stepping stone.
it's still a stepping stone to a next property. In the past, a 1-bedroom might cost us only 700,000, 600 plus.
Yeah.
Today, 1-bedrooms are transacted at 900 plus thousand. That means a 1-bedroom can make 200,000-300,000. But then you don't even start. I don't think there's any chance for us to even upgrade. So instead of saving so hard, I think you gave a very good example of starting. At least you start, buy something regardless how small it is. As long as it's brand new, you have an opportunity to make money, that it can become a stepping stone to your next property, which is exactly what you did for yourself. So if today there's a first-time buyer or any family that come and approach you, what is your advice for them when looking for a property?
Okay, of course, first of all, I will always want to understand my buyer's needs. What is his purpose or her purpose of buying this property? So most of the buyers in Singapore, their first property usually is for own stay. So I will ask them, what is their timeline to move in? Do they have a place to stay, or do they need a place to move in immediately?
Yep.
So of course, if they are looking for a place that they have to move in now, then they will have to either consider resale properties or sub-sale properties.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's the reason, because actually I was also looking at new launch projects. Since I bought a brand new project at the start,
Correct.
the thing is the timeline don't really match for me.
For yours,
Yeah, and new launch currently is all transacting at a higher price
square feet than the resale that
Yeah.
you bought.
So for resale actually I also consider at an all-time high now.
Yeah.
Just that if you really look carefully, right, you might identify a value buy,
Yeah.
something that is below market value.
So if you can spot something below market value, I think it's always worth the shot to secure it. But of course, we condition, which means time for you to sell your place. Because sometimes if you wait to sell your place first and then you start searching for property, the time span is too short.
Yes,
You don't
end up
really-
if you sell too early, you might have to rent a place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then you don't have the luxury of time to spot under value or good value buy even in the resale market. Because I think resale market, everybody is very worried, I pay too high.
Yeah.
I pay
Yes.
too much. But usually people who pay higher or pay the highest is usually in a rush or emotional. But for us, we try our best to spot the best buy or lowest per square feet possible in the market. So if today all over again, I'm very sure still the 2-bedroom. If back then, if it's only left with 1-bedroom, will you buy? Botanic at Bali. If it's only left with 1-bedroom, will you buy?
Still buy.
Still
Maybe
buy.
don't earn 400k.
Only
also
today,
earn
only
200K.
today lah. Because today you don't make money ma.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know, maybe not lah. You might fall back to HDB. Who knows? So I think because of this, I think you have set a very good example of starting somewhere.
Yeah, but of course, choosing the next property is equally important.
Yeah.
So just a fun fact, right? We didn't see much units. So actually we only saw 2 units. That's all. That's it. We didn't go and see other projects. Because when we saw that the venue, we feel that it's the right one in terms of location and it being very near to MRT station.
Yep.
And then next is also supported by good schools around.
Most importantly, the price is good lah.
And the price is good.
Yeah, under
So
value.
when we saw this project and I said if I really can secure below 2.1 million, I would definitely
Go for it.
go for it.
Okay, so from this, I think more or less we have summed up what we want to find out about your purchase, because it's not easy to move into a 4-bedroom in today's context when the interest rate is one of the highest for the past few years. So the only way to do it is to be very confident that prices will continue to rise or undervalue. If not, you have a certain backup plan in terms of your funding. That means the capital appreciation, how much you made, and then the balance amount of money can be used as your funds. So thank you very much, Darryl, for sharing your upgrading process. If any of you guys are looking to upgrade from your current property or thinking whether what's a good stepping stone in terms of our first property, I think please feel free to contact any one of us. And most importantly, Darryl, having his own successful case, upgrading case, is definitely a good example. So thank you, everybody. Keep a lookout for more podcasts like this. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.
Bye.